Welcome to a video lesson on the greatest integer function, the greatest function there ever was. That's not actually what the greatest means in the greatest integer function, but we'll talk about what it does mean in just a second. So the greatest integer function is one that uses brackets like these. What do those mean? Well, brackets like that could be used like this as well. These actually mean the same in this case. And these brackets, we've seen them before. We've seen them for intervals. And brackets like that, when there are two numbers separated by a comma, means an interval. It means from one number all the way to the other number and everything in between. But in this case, there is just one thing in these brackets, and it can be a variable, and it doesn't have to be, but that has a different meaning. These mean greatest integer in brackets like this. These can be used too. So what does that mean? Well, these brackets mean that whatever the value is inside that bracket, you round it. You take it to be the greatest integer just before or equal to x. Basically, it means you round it down to the integer numerically less than whatever is in there. I say or equal because if the value inside that is already an integer, then it stays as is. I'll show you what I mean. So it means that you round down to the integer below that number, or if it's already an integer, you keep it the same. So as an example, suppose we had a function f of x is equal to the greatest integer of x. If I wanted to find f of 8.1, it means that my x value is 8.1. So if 8.1 was in these brackets, remember they mean round to the integer less than, below, or equal to. 8.1 is not an integer, so it doesn't stay the same. Instead, we round down to the integer below 8.1, and that integer is 8. Even if something is very close to the highest integer, like 11.9, we are always rounding down to the integer below the number in the brackets. And if, let's say I had a negative number, the integer below, numerically below negative 5.3, that value is negative 6. And if the number is already itself a whole number, if it's an integer, then it just stays as is. And let's say here, if things are a little bit more complicated, but things work the same way, if here I wanted to find the value of 8.1, what is f of 8.1? It means that x is 8.1. So what I would do is 3 times 8.1, then subtract 1, multiply that whole product times 1/2. And only then, once I have one single number, then do I round down to the integer below that, and then I multiply by 2. If you want to pause and give that a try, see what you get, check your answer, go for it. I'm going to show the answer in 2 seconds. F of 8.1 works out to be 22. So if you want to know why, 3 times 8.1, that's 24.3. You take away 1, that's 23.3. Divided by 2 is 11 point something. So this gets rounded down to 11, and then you multiply it by 2. If you want to try the others, you can pause the video and give it a try. I'm going to show the answers in just a second. F of 11.9 works out to be 34. F of negative 5.3 works out to be negative 18. And F of 17 works out to be 50. So 3 times 17 is 51, minus 1 is 50, times 1/2 is 25. That's already an integer, so it stays as is, and then you multiply by 2. So this is the basic idea of what these brackets mean, and in the next video, I'll show you what the function looks like if you were to graph it.